Hi, I'm Tracy, VE3TWM. Thank you for tuning in to Outdoors on the Air. I was fortunate to go down to Dayton for the annual Hamvention this year, and my major score was an SGC SG-2020 HF transceiver and a matching SGC MAC 200 auto tuner, both in very good condition. I was able to set them up one afternoon on my back deck and try them out with a loop antenna. I didn't make any contacts, but I confirmed the rig was working, then packed the two items away for a future deployment. A few weeks later, I had to travel to a business conference. I was going to be there for a few days and was arriving the day prior to the conference kickoff. Taking a look at the map, I noticed a provincial park I had never visited was located near the hotel I was staying at. On the day of departure to the conference, I packed along the SG-2020 and the MAC tuner in hopes of activating the park. Upon my arrival at the hotel late Saturday afternoon, I quickly checked in, then drove out to the park. Craigleith Provincial Park is right on the southern shore of Georgian Bay, the giant bay on the east side of Lake Huron. It's a very small park with campsites clustered on a roadway along the water's edge. I drove out past the campsites to the day use area, parked my car adjacent to a picnic table, and proceeded to set up my gear. The site was very close to the water, and a gentle breeze was coming off the bay. The weather was warm and there were no bugs to contend with. The time was now about 6 o'clock, and I had the immediate area to myself, which was nice. I had to work quickly, though, as I only had a couple of hours to try and get in my activation. My two 10-amp-hour lithium iron phosphate batteries were contained in an ammo can, along with connecting cables. Coaxial cable and a wire antenna were in a separate ammo can. The SG-220, its companion microphone, and MAC 200 tuner had been packed in a protective carry box. I've long been fascinated by this rig, having learned of it years ago. It's a ruggedized rig manufactured by a now-defunct American company that specialized in marine and commercial radio systems. The SG-2020 is a 20-watt radio with a number of interesting features. I'll delve further into this transceiver when I release a full review video in the coming months. Along with the SGS gear, I brought along a magnetic resonant loop antenna I had acquired off the used market the previous winter. I've never used an antenna like this before, and was very interested to see how it would work in a POTA situation. The antenna was manufactured by a company called Antennas for Less. This is definitely a low-end product, which is a basic loop with a support structure made of common ABS piping. It claims a frequency range from 80 meters to 17 meters at a maximum power of 20 watts SSB. In a few minutes, I had the loop all set up and ready to go. As I grabbed the 2020, I noticed the power connector on the pigtail emerging from the rear of the rig was not a power pole. This mystified me, as back in Dayton, I noticed when I purchased the rig, it did indeed have a power pole connector on it. As I looked in disbelief at the incompatible coupler, I reasoned there had been a small jumper attached to this connector with a power pole on the other end. While packing for the trip, when I unplugged the 2020 from my power supply, I must have disconnected that jumper and left it connected to the power supply at home. I was in a rush and did not notice my error at the time. My first reaction was, that's it. My hopes for an activation are dashed due to a completely avoidable error. After a moment of internal consternation, I took stock of my situation and tried to think of a solution. I had brought along a Leatherman multi-tool. I could cut off the oddball connector, and then end off one of my power pole patch cables, strip the ends, then twist the wires together. A kludgy solution to be sure, but an option. But I had not brought along electrical tape. This meant if I twisted the bare ends together, I would have to deal with exposed power leads. Doing so was not an option I was willing to consider. Then another idea came to me. I had previously put together a short power jumper with alligator clips on one end for attaching to battery terminals, and a power pole connector on the other end. What if I cut off the offending connector at the end of the 2020's power jumper, exposed the wire on each lead, and used the alligator clips to connect the 2020 to one of the power pole-equipped battery cords? And that's exactly what I did. And it worked great. Now it was time to test out the loop. I started out on 20 meters, but couldn't hear much. I moved down to 40, and same there. There weren't many strong signals on the band. I tried calling CQ POTA, but had no response. I heard a couple of stations calling CQ POTA, but they couldn't hear me when I responded. At this point, I was running out of time. I had about an hour worth of daylight left, so I made the decision to pull down the loop and put up my backup antenna, an N9 SAB 40 to 10 meter resonant end fed. As soon as I plugged that antenna into the SG-2020, 40 meters came alive. It was a night and day difference. I set the SG-2020 to 15 watts output. Time to start making contacts. Here's how it went.
Park to park, park to park.
Go ahead, park to park.
This is Victor Echo 3 Tango Whiskey Mike from VE0184. 5 and 7 into my park, sir.
Victor Echo 3 Tango Whiskey Mike. I need the park number, please.
Victor Echo 0184. Victor Echo 0184. QSL.
A copy. Victor Echo 0184.
And may I have your call and park number, sir?
Yes, sir. Lima Hotel. November 8 Lima Hotel. And Kilo 0632. West Virginia.
Copy the Kilo 0632 in West Virginia. And please copy my 5 and 7. 5 and 7 QSL.
Copy the 5-7. I'll give you the 5-7 also. 5-7. Don't worry.
Thank you very much for the activation, sir, and good luck.
Thank you. Here as well.
7-3.
Whiskey, Kilo 2, Delta Whiskey. Thank you for New Jersey. Kilo 1 to Potsdam. November, park on the air. Yours up.
Park to park, park to park.
Park to park, come now.
Park to park, please copy Victor Echo 3 Tango Whiskey Mike.
Victor Echo 3 Tango Echo Mike, QSL?
Negative, Tango Whiskey Mike, Tango Whiskey Mike, QSL.
Victor Echo 3 Tango Whiskey Mike, Tango. I have you as a 5757 into Park Kilo 7530, Connecticut.
Copy the park number. May I have your call again, sir?
Kilo 1 Papa Charlie November, Kilo 1 Pacific Canada Norway.
Thank you very much. Kilo 1 Papa Charlie November, please copy a 5 and 7 from Park VE0184.
Thank you for the 5-7 from VE0184.
QSL, thank you and good luck.
73, Kilo 1 Papa Charlie November, parked on the air. QSL.
Park to park, park to park.
Park to park, Victor Echo 3.
Park to park, Victor Echo 3 Tango Whiskey Mike.
Victor Echo 3 Tango Whiskey Mike, park to park. Go ahead with your park number and 5 into our park.
And you are a 5 and 7 into Park Victor Echo 0184 QSL.
0184 QSL. Stand by for second off.
Okay.
My park number is Victor Echo 5371 QSL.
Copy. Victor Echo 5371. Is that a QSL?
Roger. Stand by for second operator.
Thank you very much, Victor Echo 3 Tango Whiskey Mike, standing by.
Well, thank you.
Sorry, could you repeat the call, please?
Sorry, 30184
I caught the Zulu, not the digits afterwards. Could you repeat those, please? I'm really sorry. I'm having trouble with those last two letters. One more time.
Victor Echo 3, Zulu, Sierra, Zulu.
Got it that time. Thank you. They had some local noise that went away, so thank you very much. You're a 5 and 9 from VE 0184.
QSL, I had to translate it for you. His Australian accent very strong.
You didn't see it on the video clips, but as I was operating, people were pulling up in the adjacent parking lot to settle in at the lakeshore to enjoy the sunset. Where I had been spoiled with having the place to myself up till then, the place was now getting busy. While I was operating, a nice family got out of their van and asked if they could use the fire pit by my table. I told them I only needed to make a few more contacts to activate the park, then it would be all theirs. I was able to find some POTA activators, hit the magic number of 10 contacts, then pulled the plug. Though I didn't have as much time to operate as I would have liked, the activation was a success. The SG-2020 worked well, giving me hope that it will be a solid performer on field day. Tim, N9SAB's resonant end-fed 40 through 10 meter antenna also did very well. It far surpassed the results obtained with the magnetic loop. This trip reminded me of an important rule for those of us that operate portable. In this case, I had brought along 3 items whose operation I was largely unfamiliar with: the SG-2020, the MAC 200 tuner, and the magnetic loop. It's perfectly okay to bring along something you haven't used before, but it's wise to stick to only one device that you are trying to learn to operate. In the event of something not working right, pairing that one device up with gear that you know works gives you the chance to pinpoint issues you may encounter. While using the SG-2020 with the MAC 200 tuner, I could not resolve whether the problems I experienced were due to either the rig or the ATU, and I did have some issues. Look for more information in an upcoming video after I have spent additional time using each of them. So at the end of this day, I had another park worked and another sticker collected. Next up is field day, but that's a story for a different video. That's all for this time. Thank you for watching. By the way, if you enjoy my videos, you might also enjoy the live streams I do every month with my friends Chris, Kilo 2 Charlie Juliet Bravo, and Tim, November 9 Sierra Alpha Bravo. Watch for the upcoming stream announcements on my channel. Now it's your turn. Get out of the shack, get outdoors, and get on the air. 7-3 from Tracy, VE3 TWM.